How did you know that, Dominic Elifaci from Collins
I
House?
have to admit,
You're a fan.
only of this song.
Who was your favourite, Eric or Woody?
I don't know. The one with the sexy ankles.
Oh, that was Eric.
Was it? Okay, there you go.
What?
They used to
Don't
wear-
you know the Bay City Rollers?
They used to have short
No,
trousers.
it's more the ankles comment.
Or the only thing, I mean, one of them you could see their ankles.
Yeah.
So, and the girls used to scream.
Oh, they'd scream all
I
right.
know, yell and.
I remember Maxine Rigg at Blackburn High School, obsessed by them. Yeah, she was.
Golly gosh.
Now, what's happened overnight?
Well, we've had a big fall. We saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average fall over 1% or 410 points to 40,345 as traders digested poor economic news led by the labour market. There weren't as many jobs created. The S&P 500 fell 1.73% and the tech-heavy Nasdaq fell over 2.5% as the Magnificent Seven took a bath, basically.
Yeah.
Across the Atlantic, London's FTSE fell almost 0.75% to 8,181, with the French, German and Italian bourses also lower. Gold fell $18.50 to $2,542.60 US an ounce, whilst West Texas Intermediate was $1.48 lower at $67.67 US a barrel. The Aussie dollar is lower against the greenback in trading this morning, is currently buying 66.71 US cents, with the ASX 200 SPY 102 points lower, pointing to a lower opening in Australia on Monday following Friday's effort, where our market put on 31 points to close the session at 8,013.
Okay, now, planning for retirement, that's what it's all about. You say take a deep breath, pour yourself a beer or a soft drink and get your head down and get into it.
This is the 7-step investment spring cleaning plan. I don't know about you
Spring
guys.
cleaning plan.
You need a spring cleaning plan. Everybody needs to do it every now and then.
Okay, 7.
It's a 7-step. But it seems like yesterday, was it Without a Fight won the Melbourne Cup, I think, last year?
I think so.
Yeah, it was just like yesterday, the Melbourne Cup. They're getting ready again.
Yeah, they are.
Flemington, all the roses are being pruned and propped up and everything's
Comes around quickly.
So it comes around quickly. So, number one, have a good look at your super statement. Now, that may frighten you. 2, think about how you're tracking with your home loan. Review any share or property investments that you've got. Get your wills and powers of attorney updated. Think about planning to reduce land tax. Capital gain, your favourite topic.
Land tax.
Capital gains tax and income tax. And update your investment strategy. And if you don't have one, get on your bike and get one. The number of people who don't have a plan. Just a simple, and you don't need a complicated financial plan, just an investment strategy.
Like 1, pay off your house.
Yes.
2, buy a blue chip share. 3, something like that.
Top up your... Absolutely. Whatever's floats your boat. And the last one, think about who is going to look after you when you're 64. My favourite Beatles song. Who's going to look after you?
Okay.
Are we going to cue this? No, we're not. Okay.
What is a good super balance? Your step 1, look at your super balance. At what point should your heart sink or soar?
I wish you wouldn't ask me that question. It's a very good question. But it's. I spend half my time resuscitating people because they go, well, you need triple what you've got now. So, look, because the cost of living has risen so much, the amount of capital you need to sustain a good income in retirement is getting very, very... I don't think you can retire with less than $1 million in super. To have a reasonable lifestyle. You can, of course, if you're not that lucky and you have to rely on the age pension, so be it. You'll get some benefit from the government, but I don't know how you can live just on the age pension.
No.
It's scary. So you can have a couple of $100,000 if you're a single person and 400,000 odd if you're a married couple. So you can get some additional income from that. But look, I'd say $1 million now is the minimum. People might argue with me. There's plenty of calculators you can use. But the other point, Emily, when I said you made my heart sink, is because it depends on what other assets you've got. And the horrible, morbid thing I have to talk about is, are you likely to receive an inheritance? Because the transfer of wealth from one generation to the next is saving a lot of people in terms of their income in retirement.
Exactly. And if you don't, well... And the other thing that is a big cost these days, private health insurance. Has that gone up through the roof, or is it just me?
How much are you paying a month, do you reckon?
Oh,
$700 or
I'm
$800?
paying thousands a year.
Yeah, I think I'm paying about, is it $800 a month? Some ridiculous.
Yeah, it'd be something
like that.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's gone through the roof is house insurance and car insurance.
Yeah.
They're just gone up 40-50%.
Well, with all the youth of this city stealing cars, and no wonder their premiums have gone up, smashing up BMWs and stealing other people's property, and then being let out on bail straight away the next day. Have we had enough or what?
Oh, Darren.
Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. How can we help, my friend?
Yes, my wife and her brother inherited a property which they've been renting out over the past couple of years.
Yes.
The brother now is thinking of selling out. Now, if the property is sold, my wife is 74.
Yes.
Can she make a bulk contribution into her superannuation?
As long as she receives the money before her 75th birthday, she can make a non-concessional or a concessional contribution, Jeff. So it really depends on when the settlement is. You've got to get the money in the bank before her 75th birthday.
Why before 75?
Well, you can't make a superannuation contribution, or a superannuation fund cannot accept a contribution for a member if the member has attained 75 years of age, unless it's a government-mandated employer arrangement. So just a small contribution, but the big contribution's under 75. If, however, Jeff, your wife or whoever owns the property lived in the property and it was their principal place of residence for a number of years, then you can make a downsizer contribution. But this sounds like it was rented out, so therefore it wouldn't qualify as a downsizer, and there is no age limit on the downsizer contributions.
Right. There you go. Jeff to Merrill, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Could you please give me a comment on the Home Equity Access Scheme? We've been retired over 20 years and we still have super left, but it's dwindling.
Right.
And, comment, please.
Yeah, Merrill, there's two sort of broad churches of thought on this. I like the reverse mortgage version. That's not to say that the other version where you sell part of your house, which is the equity release scheme, isn't good. I haven't seen any that stack up, in my view. I'm not saying there aren't any that do. So I tend to look at taking out a mortgage on your house and letting it run until the last remaining person passes away. So that means the interest just accumulates, you spend it, you enjoy yourself, and the people who inherit your house have to pay the bank back when the last one of you die. And even if it goes into negative equity, if you owe more than the house is worth, they can't be liable for a debt. Now, the government has got a Centrelink version of that, which is worth looking at for smaller amounts. I find that most people who look into this say, that's lovely, I might take a Centrelink one, but golly gosh, that's where the government actually lends you money and just you accumulate the debt. But most people say, golly gosh, it's not enough. I need to go to a proper financier, like a bank. And there's a couple of good ones that do it. I don't have his number handy, but I shall look it up quickly. If you need to get some information on this, John Casser from Invictus Finance, I use him all the time. He'll be able to help you. Invictus Finance Brokers are 9486 7888. That's Invictus Finance Brokers, 9486 7888. Give John a call.
Thanks, Merrill. To Peter, good morning.
Good morning, gents. Look, I'm just wanting to know, my wife and I are looking at downsizing, but actually buying two properties, one in New South Wales and one in Victoria. If we were to buy the one in New South Wales in my name and the one in Victoria in my wife's name, would...
So we just lost the last bit there, Peter. If you bought one house in each of your names, what was the last thing you were saying? Sorry, can you hear me?
Peter?
Are you there, Pete?
No, Peter, one more chance.
I think what you're trying to do is say, can you have two principal places of residence? The answer is no. And if you have one in your name that you live in and the other one is a rental property or a holiday home, if it's in New South Wales, you'll pay less land tax than in Victoria.
A lot less.
Correct.
6 to 10.
When I'm
64. There you go. Tom, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm just ringing up about, we've got a financial advisor and he's suggesting that we buy a retail property out in the country somewhere, around sort of the $700,000, $800,000 mark. With all the land tax issues going on, I'm not that comfortable about it at the moment. What would you suggest to somebody who's...
Look, if it's... I don't mind commercial property, number one, and I quite like self-managed super funds if it's appropriate for your relevant circumstances. You've got to do a lot of homework, but you will pay stamp duty if it's a house that you rent out. If it's a commercial property, the stamp duty may be passed on to the lessee, if that makes sense. So I don't mind the idea, but look, if you want to leave your details off air or make a time to see me through the Collins House website, collinshouse.com, I can spend half an hour and talk to you about it.
Hold the line, we'll get your details there. Tom to Stephen, good morning.
Oh, hi, guys. Dominic, my parents had to sell their 5-acre hobby farm due to the land tax Nazis in Victoria. I was just wondering, my mother's terminally ill. They couldn't get an exemption from any of the taxes. I think I mentioned it before.
Yes.
They've had it for 40 years. Dad wants to know if he can claim expenses for 40 years of running a farm with sheep on it and pay less capital gains tax.
Okay, now, we're in 2024, minus 40 years. That means he bought it in 1984. So he's free of capital gains tax, which is the first thing. So if it's been 40 years, you're free of capital gains tax. But please, look, Stephen, this is a complicated question. The answer, so it's a simple question with a complicated answer. Again, please leave your details off air or go online and make a time to see me, because I've only got 30 seconds and I won't be able to do a good job.
No. Hold there to Liz. Good morning.
Yes, I came in a bit late on Dominic's session this morning and I heard him mention try and aim to have $1 million in super. Was that combined?
Yes, that's for a couple. Liz, that's for a couple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Oh, thank goodness. You ticked that box, Liz, by the sound of it.
So you don't have to have a beer at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you.
Good idea. Thanks, Liz. Yeah, so that's $1 million per couple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Minimum.
500,000 each.
Minimum.
Ooh, still a lot of money.
Oh, no, it is. It is.
See you, Dominic.
Lovely to speak to you. Sorry we couldn't take all the calls again. This program is hot, Darren.
Hot.
You're hot.
You are. You're hotter.
Emily, you're hotter.
Everyone's hot.
I'm not.
I work with 2 hotties. And there's a third hottie who's about to talk. Dennis O'Kane.
Oh.